I'm Ricky Bevington, host of All Things Considered on Georgia Public Broadcasting. This is GPB's new web series, What You Need to Know Coronavirus. Joining me now is Hugh Acheson, chef and owner of restaurants 5 and 10 in Athens, as well as Empire State South and By George in Atlanta. Hugh, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Ricky.
So people in the South, we love our locally sourced, owner-operated restaurants. This is going to be hugely impactful on your industry. What do people need to know about how this crisis will impact local restaurants that they love?
You know, across Georgia, there's just so many great independent restaurants, but it's all restaurants. And the big thing about this crisis is it's not just affecting us. We know that it's affecting absolutely everybody now, but restaurants were the first thing to fall. And the destruction that it tore through the restaurant industry because we had to shut down for public safety was something that's insurmountable to build back to what it was. So, you know, nationwide, hospitality employs 15 million people. We're 4% of GDP. I mean, it's a huge impact to an industry that right now is all darkened restaurants.
And you said restaurants were the first to fall. What has been your experience with your restaurants? What did you have to do?
We chose before we were a little bit before a lot of other people decided to shut down. So we closed down on a Monday, I guess 2.5 weeks ago now, and 3.5 weeks ago. And we shut down 5 and 10 completely. We went to shut down By George. We went to just to go offerings at Empire State South. And Empire State South is also feeding first responders and medical community as well.
And I do want to ask you about to-go food in a minute, because that's something I think a lot of people have on their minds right now. But let's actually talk about the coronavirus relief bill passed by Congress. $377 billion of this relief bill actually goes to small businesses. This includes emergency grants, forgivable loans, and relief for existing loans. What impact will that have on the small restaurants that you say have already shut down or on the front lines of this?
I think it's huge impact, and I really commend Congress and for really getting that done quickly. And I think they really didn't let down small business at all. And I think that it's a lifeline that we're going to need desperately to reopen. A lot of people just will not reopen, though. Before the stimulus package came out and before the CARES Act got passed, somebody like Tom Colicchio, who's a very famous chef, was saying this would probably see the demise of about 75% of restaurants. And I think that we've all sort of looking at that differently now because of this help. But I still think that 20 to 30% of restaurants are never going to see the light of day again. It's just people get freaked out and they don't want to go through this ever again. Laying off 120 people is not easy.
I was speaking with a small business owner and she said, you know, it's nice to have loans, but I don't want to take on debt just to get out of this. So, I mean, it's a really hard decisions for all business owners, big and small. You mentioned that your restaurant in Midtown Atlanta, Empire State South, is serving a to-go menu, obviously scaled down from your traditional offerings. But walk me through steps that people should take to know that to-go food is safe to bring into their homes.
I think first you have to use your logical radar. We have to be Vulcans sometimes, and we just need to think about, like, is that restaurant safe? Is it clean? Are they taking steps to do that? On the restaurant side, it's our job to show you what we're doing. So we have a crew of 5 people, 2 people in the front of the house and 3 people in the kitchen. That is the only crew allowed in that restaurant. It is one crew. They go in the morning and they clock out and they go directly home. They have created systems where they're checking in. We take temperatures every morning of individuals before they start working. Anybody who's symptomatic calls in and is not allowed to come in. We haven't had that happen yet. So we've got a really clean scenario. On pickup, people call in, they pay for it completely with gratuity before they come and pick it up. When they come and pick it up, we open a little window, announce that their food's ready. They approach a cordoned off area. Once the window is closed, and they pick up their food and they're on their way. There's no you can't congregate in the area. You can't come in and use the bathroom. All those things are just measures that we're taking to keep our staff safe and give us an environment where we can provide food and nourishment to people. I think that's the most important thing. A lot of people can still get food and you can get a frozen pizza and all this stuff. But what the difference between nutrition and basic food and nourishment is really what we're out to conquer.
And you've been doing that for your entire career. So I did notice that the servers at Empire State South, which is near the GPB headquarters in Atlanta, they were all wearing gloves. So just to reiterate that consumers should be looking at the business practices of any business that they're interfacing with to see if they're taking this seriously. As you mentioned, people not only need to be fed, they need to be nourished, and millions of Americans are finding themselves cooking at home a lot more than they're used to and probably comfortable with for many people. So, what advice can you give to the many people who are cooking at home right now?
I just think that this pandemic has spawned some goodness. We're going to have millions of young Allison Romans out there now cooking different anchovy-laden dishes, which is great. No, I went to the supermarket a couple of days ago, and the bean aisle, the dry beans were totally gone. And I was like, wow, that gives me heartfelt hope that America is actually learning how to cook from scratch. Conversely to that, I talked to my friend Jose Andres, who runs World Central Kitchen, the other day for about an hour, a couple of days ago. And he was really scared that, if you give an Italian woman in Puglia 10 pounds of lentils and two ham hocks, she'll make food for days. But Jose was like, they don't know how to do that here. And we've lost something in food, and we're very honest about that now. But I think this is driving people to cook nourishing meals at home. And it's hilarious, some of the results you see on Twitter and Instagram. But it's good. People are trying, that they understand that food is this thing that we gather around a table for. Well, granted, you're going to be gathering around with the same two people you live with for a long time on end right now, but so be it.
Hugh Atchison, a chef and restaurateur, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, Ricky. Stay safe.